Hi, and welcome to the Delight Knits podcast. My name is Emily, and this is where I talk about everything that I have been knitting or crafting or and all that kind of stuff for the last, I think it's been about a month. I believe this is episode 58, but I am not 100% sure. The number will be in the title, but who really cares what number it is, as long as I'm here. So it's been maybe about a month since I've last podcasted. I've been to a fiber festival since then and bought a lot. And so yeah, today is September 29th. It's actually my birthday of 2024 on a Sunday. And what else? You can find everything that I talk about. I will do my best to link everything in the description box below. You can find my Instagram, my Ravelry, my email. And yeah, I think that's about it. I have a few finished objects, some updates on some projects, and a whole bunch of purchases to show you. So first finished object is my Twisted Tea shirt by Briana Luppino, who is the Little Wolf Knits. The contrast colors, I think I knit size 3 or 4. It's a 40-inch bust. For a little more positive ease than what she calls for. And then I also lengthened the body quite a bit. So the contrast colors, I don't remember the colorway name, but I know it is Ruby and Roses on her soft rose base. And then the main color for the entire body is Dragon Horde yarn. I don't remember that colorway either. I don't know what I did with the tag, but I love it. It's gorgeous. It's out of my normal blues. And yeah, I wore this to DFW. I wore it to work one day. It's perfect. I love it. It's a great little t-shirt for the Southwest Arkansas weather that we're having for our fall and end of summer. So my other finished object it's kind of quick, but I've already talked about it. I pretty much knitted it to pattern except for extending the body length quite a bit, maybe an inch or two, so maybe not quite a bit. My next finished object is a pair of socks. I knit these, I cast these on for a golf tournament we were sponsoring for my office. So I'm calling them my golf course socks, but I knit most of them not at the golf course. The yarn is Ruby and Roses Archipelago, I think is the colorway name, and on her plump rose base. I knit all of my socks on a US 0 2mm. I do 64 stitches, 20 rounds of 2x2 ribbing, 50 rounds of a leg, slip stitch, heel flap, and gusset. I am a size 7.5 to 8, and I do 70 rows on the leg, and then I think it's a wedge toe. I don't know all the different types of toes, but I decrease every other round to where I have 20 stitches on each needle, and then decrease every round to where I have 10 stitches on each needle, and then I can string it together. Because I do switch to magic loop for the toes. That's the only time I do magic loop. And so that is this pair of socks. Pretty simple, my usual vanilla socks, just have it to go. Usually I need to cast on a new pair, but I did have, last time I spoke with you, I had another pair of socks cast on out of the Barocco Comfort sock, out of this colorway. I had a bunch of leftovers of this. I have since frogged it, obviously. I just had like 10 rows of a cuff. I frogged it because I've worn the socks that I have knit out of, not the specific colorway, but a different colorway, and my daughter has, and I'm not a fan of them. I'd rather have the wool. This is 100%. I can't remember it. I want to say nylon, but not nylon, acrylic. I know it's acrylic, it's not wool, like washer dryer everything, and that may be part of why I didn't like them. But I do have a purpose for all these, or I will have a purpose for all of these later. They just might not be knit up. I do like them for gift socks, because you never know with some people how they will wear them and use them and stuff. And that's just, I think I've gotten picky with what I use knitting. I obviously love all the hand-dyed yarn, so I am picky and more skewed towards using wool and wearing wool and all that kind of stuff. I wear my hand knit socks pretty much every day, unless I'm like going out and working or outside around my house and that kind of stuff, where I know they'll get dirty and worn out. But like to work, I sit in an office all day, I'm gonna count it, I wear my hand knit socks pretty much every day. So yeah, that's kind of a tangent there. I also I did a project for Addie of Ruby and Roses, where we knit a couple different blanket squares for a project that she's got coming up, just to get dimensions. And so this is her soft rose held double, or I don't like those terms, 2 strands of her soft rose held together to make, this is a garter stitch square, just kind of to get some measurements and weights and all that kind of stuff. So just figured I'd show you off some of the knitting that I did, because this is knitting. It's fully blocked. It will make a gorgeous blanket, texture and like drape and that kind of stuff. So that's this garter one, and then here is the stocking knit one, also fingering weight, soft rose held, 2 strands held together, and there's that. So it's very interesting to me. So this is 2 tonals held together, how like one pops out more, and it's, I think I had one cake where I was tighter on the inside, or it was tighter so it pulls. I'm an inside pull gal, a center pull gal, and so you can definitely tell a difference like in the tension of like one versus the other, and where it changes, and just how the colorways layer and create all that coloring is interesting. More so on a tonal and tonal versus a tonal and a speckle, which you can still see it here. This is a hot pink tonal with a white speckle, and then this one is these 2. Then I don't really have as much left. But I'm not gonna give away too much about the project, that or the reasons why I did this. Just, this is knitting that I did. It's not my project to share. So this one is the hot pink tonal plus the white with the with my hair in there. The white speckle, you can kind of see it there. But I do plan on frogging these, because this is some gorgeous yarn. I think my daughter would love some colors, some sweaters striped in these colors. So I'm a frogger. I'm gonna use the yarn for something else eventually, but it may be a bit. So those 2 blanket squares are done. I could seam them together and make a blanket. That may be an option later on. We'll see. What else? Another project you have seen. So this is the only other project that you've seen. This is my Market Henley by Claire Jackson of Perfectly Knotted. Actually, I could show off those. No, I may not. I'll talk about them. So my Market Henley by Claire Jackson of Perfectly Knotted in Explore Knits and Fibers, Carlsbad Caverns. It's her cashmere base. And You Do Not Yield. So I've got some ends to weave in. I've purchased buttons. They have been ordered, are not here. So I've finished off the collar and the everything there, since you've seen it last. I do have a stitch marker, but I think it's on the side there. My stitch marker is right there after the sleeve split. There is some difference in skeins, so I did not start alternating skeins until I went in the round and after I split for sleeves, just because there's so much back and forth. So you can see the first skein had a lot more of the like green and tan in it at the top, and then alternating skeins there, it doesn't bother me. It's not noticeable until like you get it in camera. It's also not as noticeable in the front. But I finished off the first skein in the body, and I always like to do sleeves first, so I did pick up and do the collar, because adding the collar cinches things in and affects your sleeve length of what you want, or where the sleeve hits you, I guess is a better. And I am on the cuff of the sleeve. This one has so many decreases. But yeah, I did add one repeat here in the sleeves. I might have said that last time, to make my armhole a little bit more depth. So I did cast on more in the sleeve than the size that I'm knitting, which I think is size 4. But I am literally on the cuff. I could probably finish this today, and I should. But we'll see. I'm loving this. I'm excited to get it done. I don't think it'll take me all that much longer, but we'll see, because you'll see what's going on in my brain. So yeah, love it. This is sitting in my new bag, and it's also got, I guess I'll talk about these while I have them. I purchased these at DFW Fiberfest. They are little end stoppers from Vic's Knits is where I got these. I think I've got the tag. Let me see. That's there. Where's my tag? Maybe not. But it's Vic's Knits. She has tons of progress keepers and little end stoppers that are great. And it's in a bag that I'll show off here shortly. In my By the Bay Bag Co. bag, this is the large, I think. I had cast on a sweater for my daughter there's on my tags. Maybe that end stopper tag's in here. Maybe not. Oh well. So I cast on a sweater for my daughter with yarn that I purchased from Addie of Ruby and Rose's Yarns, of course. From her unstock sale that she was doing. So this is Vineyard on her rose gold base. My daughter is a big purple fan. She's loved purple since she could talk. Her room is purple. She always chooses pink and purples. So purple sweater it is. I purchased 3 skeins, and I absolutely love, and I have it right here, my Dear Duomo sweater that I hacked for fingering weight. It's a drop shoulder. I rolled over collar, striped. I used extra skeins I had to do the stripes, yada yada, you've seen it. I absolutely love that. I am going to do 1 or 2 sizes less than that, and I already have all my notes on like gauge and that kind of stuff. So I'm going to knit one for my daughter. I cast on to do it. So here it is, and it is sparkle, which I think it's picking it up enough. And these have been sitting in a bag and tossed around quite a bit. So I cast on a sweater, and it's a bottom up sweater. This is like a hat size. Definitely not for my now 5-year-old, not big enough. So I'm gonna go up 2 sizes. It is, I mean, it's meant to stretch. Like if you were to pull this up, she's probably not gonna be much bigger than me. Like it'll stretch when it's blocked, but it's not gonna stretch that much, and that just doesn't look good. So I do need to size up 1, 2, maybe 3 sizes from what I cast on. I cast on the smallest size, and I should have gone up because I did change fingering weight, so all those measurements from the actual pattern are not what I'm knitting. I got to do the math with all the gauge and stuff. So it's not on needles. I knit on this while I was at DFW Fiberfest, realized it was too small, and just pulled the needles out and worked on my socks the rest of the time and other things. So yeah, I need to frog this, fully frog it, and start over, which is fine. That's what I get for not gauge swatching and doing the math prior. You just cast on and go. But let's just put this here. What else should I show you? I think I showed you what I was spinning on last time, but I'm gonna wait and show you that later here in a little bit. I did, Addie's got some new collections coming up that I'm doing her some swatches for, like I usually do. I don't really want to, like, I'm not gonna show off too much of the colorway, even though you're probably seeing this one. I have it on this yarn minder. I don't know the exact name my sister got me for Christmas, where outside pull and it just goes. It works great for this new setup I've got, but I just ripped all of those out of there. It's okay. So I'm gonna show you a colorway that she's including in this collection that you know of. And I've knit 4 of these swatches so far. They're just 5x5 stocking knit swatches. They need to be steamed out, but I've knit 4 of these in her next collection she'll release. And I've got a few more to knit, but I'm happy with them, as always. So let me pull these back together. That's in my String Crazy bag by, oh my gosh, is it Debbie? I lost your name and I'm so sorry. I'm pretty sure it's Debbie. And I gave away the card to somebody at DFW, so I don't have your name in here. My brain's not working. So that's all of those in there. Loving that. So I guess we're gonna move on to purchases. One purchase is the chair I'm sitting in. It's kind of my birthday gift to myself in the corner of my bedroom. That way I don't have to just sit on the bed and knit in the evenings. And so I can use one of my purchases. So if you've watched the last few episodes, you know I've kind of jumped into a spinning journey. I've been learning from somebody at my local yarn store. I am having a blast with it. And I think I showed off this bat here that I had done, or that I am working on. I was using a drop spindle from borrowing it from the store. And so I'm still working on this bat here. And this is, so I purchased myself a spindle from Snyder Spindles at DFW Fiberfest. So I've got my own, and this is what I'm spinning on now. This is what I did spin on the other spindle, just on a toilet paper roll, because, you know, before I really purchased much, and I got it off so I could return this drop spindle. I love the drops top whirl, I think is what the correct term is. I looked at the Turkish spindles and watched a lot of other people using them, and that just didn't appeal to me as much. I learned on this and it made more sense to me, so maybe one day, maybe not. So yeah, but I purchased this spindle. I brought a little bag of fiber that my spinning teacher gave me to DFW, and I spun this pretty much that weekend, all on the drop spindle. It broke while I was tearing it off because it is thinner. I am a fingering weight galley, and so my goal is to spin fingering weight. I am like very particular, so that's feeding into this. And the art yarns are not quite me yet. Maybe one day, we'll see. But this is what I spun completely on this Snyder top drop spindle, or top whirl drop spindle. I don't even know if those terms are right. So yeah, I plan on applying this with something. I think a white that I might have shown you before. But also since last time, I learned plying, and the sparkle from this bat is everywhere. And I applied the pink and brown with the white there. The pink and brown was my very first drop spindle, so it is definitely thick and thin. The white is also, I think it was my next project on the drop spindle, and it just applied them together because it wasn't much to really do anything. My spinning instructor said to use it as it'd be cute to use as a Christmas ornament, so that might be what it is. My very first hand spun, and we'll go with it. Definitely flaws, still learning, and all that. So I'm planning on finishing off that bat on the drop spindle, and I've been holding that in my By the Bay Bagco bag I received as a Christmas gift a few years ago. I honestly am not a fan of this for knitting projects because it's open and it's gotten flimsy over the years, which the canvas does. But I think it's perfect for the fiber and spinning, so I'm glad I didn't destash it like I originally thought. What else did I purchase? I got to DFW Fiber Fest, and the first thing I did was I ran to By the Bay Bagco's booth. They were advertising right before that they were, this was going to be their last one. If you talked to her at the Fiber Festival, she wasn't sure if she would come back or not. You're there and you just want to do it again and again and again, but I'm sure afterwards you think something different. So while I was there, I ran because I knew they would not have as much people would have flocked there. And I purchased an El Grande. This is my second El Grande. Okay, let's try this again. Ran out of storage, went through and did a whole bunch of stuff. Maybe I'll have enough now. I know I was talking about my El Grande bag. Absolutely love them, By the Bay Bagco. In the teal, they were picked over in colors because I was there at like 10:30 on Friday morning and they opened at 9, or the festival opened at 9. Yeah. If you know Macy of Mace of Skeins, she got a haul from them. But yeah, love their bags, obviously. So 1, my spinning bag was 2, within reach, 3, and 4, and then I have my other El Grande, which is in my closet over there. What else did I purchase? I've got a big old bag here of stuff that I purchased. So I went into DFW Fiber Fest with the intention of looking at all the different fibers. I'm kind of overwhelmed with yarn right now. Keep getting swatch yarns in, which is fantastic, but I've hit the spinning bug, so fiber. So I purchased some fiber. I went around a lot of different booths, walk around, sit down, get up and go purchase, sit down, walk around, took my time because I was there all day. I purchased these from, oh my gosh, not gonna remember it. I think the tag's at the bottom. I want to say it's like Knitting Buddha or something like that. I will have them linked below. I don't think she usually does fiber, and this is just kind of a tester. So there's not colorway names. These are both Polworth. So I got these two to apply together with this. And this one's 316 Dye Studio. Colorway name is Wisteria. All 3 of these are 100% Polworth. I plan on spinning them for a 3-ply. My knitting instructor said this could probably be a sweater quantity with how thin I like to spin my yarn. So yay. We're just gonna start laying these next to me here. So there's one spin planned, all Polworth. Here is another. So this is Clockwork Fiber Co. in her Sand and Sea merino fiber. Love it. And then I got this from Stellar Needlecraft to ply with that as just a 2-ply. The Stellar is Hidden Lagoon, and both of these are 100% merino wool. They're each about 4 ounces, which I think every different colorway I bought was 4 ounces. Still learning the fiber. The purple fiber I showed off on this was merino, and I absolutely loved it. So I went with that as well. I know it's slippery is what a lot of people say, and not as easy for beginners, but we jumping right in. It's Stash. So yeah, that is that one. More fiber. Let's pull out another one. I purchased this fiber from Gritty Knits, and this is some Falkland. This is, does it have a colorway name? It just has a colorway number, so she had a whole bunch of braids on display. So I purchased this with the intention of pairing it with this from Little Fiber Co. I don't remember if this came in and I showed it off last time. But I purchased this online from Little Fiber Co.'s in stock a while ago, or a few weeks ago, maybe a month ago, a few weeks ago. That's 100% Falkland as well, and I think it's On the Rocks is the colorway. She's probably the reason that I'm getting into spinning as hardcore as I am. I love seeing all of that. Let me just put that up. Okay, so that's gonna be a 2-ply. I might honestly find something online to make it, or for a 3rd-ply. We'll see, because I would love to maybe a darker red or an orange with it, or even a brown, but we'll see. They go together great. Like, there's spots with that match pretty well, and I did not have this with me to like match it in person, so I think I did pretty well. Oh, right there's another one. Yeah. And then the last fiber I bought is from Handcrafted by Locals, and this is Seaglass Merino, and it's her Shaniko wool, and this is so soft. I want to purchase some dark blue to go with it. It maybe even a green. We'll see. I'm gonna watch her shop and see if she in her yarn colorway for this, she did like a tonal breakdown, and I'm kind of waiting to see if she does a tonal breakdown for fiber. I should have bought it while I was there because I'm pretty sure she had one, but I didn't. I obviously bought enough fiber. So yeah, this is it. That was it. I love it. This is probably my favorite one I bought. I was wearing, I have it right here. I was wearing this Radvent cardigan the day that I purchased it, and Macy took a picture of me. I have a picture, but I'm probably not gonna put it in, of me wearing it, holding it up like this. Like, can you not? Let's hope this is the screenshot that it gets, because these are my colors. Like, without a doubt, perfect. Let's flip this here, and there it goes, right there with the fade. Oh, that couldn't be more perfect. So obviously my colors, and we'll get to that. I did buy some yarn, not very much though. I bought, hopefully that didn't, okay, I bought these two little, what did she call them? Mill ends. Last year I got some, this year I got some, because you can't pass them by. These are like She writes them on there. This one's 40 grams. This one's 50 grams. Perfect for socks for my kids or even shorty socks. Not really necessarily shorty socks, but like mid-length socks for myself. But they'll probably, obviously, my daughter and my son. And I haven't used the ones from last year, but we'll get to them. I need to do some knitting for my daughter, especially. She's so knit-worthy. She chooses her knit socks quite often when it's too hot outside for her. Because she is a sweater and gets hot easily like her father. But yeah, I got that's the yarn I bought. And then there's also a yarn mill hanging around talking to some people. And I was sitting with Macy of Mace of Skeins while she was talking there and just talking about all of, like, they wholesale to yarn dyers. Well, I'm not a yarn dyer, but I have dyed yarn in, it's probably been over a year, maybe 2 since I have, but I still have all the stuff. And she gave me her little base, like, minis of, like, sampler, I guess mini samplers, what you can call it, with all their different bases. So that's cool. Super excited. Some of this, so I've been hearing a lot about Shaniko wool from, I think it's Rachel is Knitting who's been posting about it, from, is it Clockwork? It's not Clockwork. Somebody that she, like, works with or pairs with, what is that word? Can't think of that word. Has been talking about Shaniko wool. I've been interested, so obviously I grabbed this, and this is Shaniko. There's a couple of other ones on here that are Shaniko, and it's gorgeous. I might be looking into that. They sell fiber as well. Maybe I'll dip my hands into dyeing fiber for myself. We will see. I think this is the name of that. Let's see, of the ones that aren't labeled. I love it when the labels are attached. Maybe I'll find it. Maybe I'll find it. Whoop, that wasn't it. Oh, got this little thing from the table at Juju Knits. There it is. I was right, Knitting Buddha. Was where the 2 Polworth skeins are from. So now I have that. Remember? There we go. Super cute. I also Clockwork Fiber Co., who had a bunch of yarn and a little bit of fiber, and I've got stuff going everywhere. She had a bunch of yarn too, but obviously I wasn't looking at yarn. She had some buttons from Tinker's Hollow, so I did go and purchase buttons for, I gotta get ready for a baby shower. I did go purchase buttons online from them because they didn't have the size or color, specific color that I wanted, but they had it. It was so funny because I saw their buttons and was like, oh my gosh, I was looking for buttons for my Market Henley. Saw their buttons and they didn't have any in the size that I wanted. And when, I think her name's Sam, I was like, well, what size are you looking for? I said, I've got my project here. I pulled out my Market Henley, and she's like, I have mine too. Look, you'll like these. And she had some of the Tinker's Hollow buttons that she had picked out for her project. And I said, those are the ones I want. So she told me exactly what it was. I wrote it on the label and got those ordered earlier this week. So I think I'm gonna throw all this fiber back in that bag because it's just the best way for me to store it at the moment. I have one more big purchase, and if you follow me on Instagram, you've seen it. So just bear with me for a second while I get this put up. It's a lot, it's a lot, it's a lot. But I think I'm gonna, this is my next spin, because I have all the plies for it. My next purchase kind of has a whip tied with it, but that would give away my purchase, is I bought this Friday. Yeah. I bought the Electric Eel Wheel 6. I'm full into it. I love it. It's exactly what I wanted, exactly what I expected. It's got the leader on it. Yeah, this is my new hyperfixation. Oh, love it. So I spun up some, I think it's merino that my knitting instructor gifted me. So I spun all of this up on Friday, obviously a hyperfixation. So I need to find something to apply with this. It goes from the green into the dark and then into the light. It's kind of the like color sequence. But yeah, so I've got the 6 bobbin, like everything that you would purchase from them. I bought it from Knit Unto Others, that is my local yarn store in Arkadelphia that I've been kind of taking lessons with my instructor who is there. She works there kind of part-time. But I bought it from them. I got the Lazy Kate that came with it and the battery that came with it and everything. So you will be seeing a lot more spinning from me. So I apologize if the spinning bug has not hit you. It has hit me full force, and that's probably what you'll be seeing a lot. I wasn't gonna purchase it until like the end of the year when I passed all 4 parts of my CPA exam, but that didn't happen. I had a feeling it would when I started spinning on the wheel at the shop. A wheel is just not practical for my space, so we just went with the electric wheel. But that's it. Oh, and I got this little, I purchased one of these as well from Snyder. I think it's in here. Hold up. Maybe not. It's somewhere. It's just the black 3D printed Nitty Naughty. It's bigger, makes the full skein. This is one that I was gifted when I purchased the Neil at Knit Unto Others. Cute little skeins. That's what made like the size. This was on the wheel because it was being used as a demonstration yarn demonstration. So I finished it up and wasn't the biggest fan of it. I think it's like a merino bamboo. The bamboo I've heard is a lot harder. So I just took it off, and it may just live like this for the rest of its life. I did not spin the yellow. More of the green is what I spun, but that was on the top, so you obviously can't see it. Yeah, I think this is one of my longest episodes. I'll have to merge them together. But yeah, I guess, so announcement-wise type thing. Oh, well, I did, so Fiberfest was amazing. I got to go down to Dallas. It's where my parents live, and so I stayed at their house. They were out of town. It was just me. My kids stayed here with my husband, so I got there, left the house at 6, got there like 10:30-ish because hit some traffic. Stayed at the convention center until 10 that night. Hung out with Macy and a whole bunch of other people. Met a couple of new people who have become friends. Macy and Stassi walked around with me on Saturday and helped me purchase all that fiber. I was getting lunch on my way out at like 4 o'clock, or a meal, 4 o'clock on my way out, and they send me pictures of them purchasing fiber because I gave them the bug. They picked up the fiber and spinning bug from me. They purchased drop spindles and purchased fiber without me right after I'd left. So sad about it, but I'm happy to see they're starting a spinning journey as well. It's a great bug to have. So last thing is, I have talked about this sweater design quite a bit. I wore it at DFW and a lot of people said they loved it and would love to test it. I just finally got all the measurements, my gauge, all that jazz to be able to grade it. We'll see if I can work on that this week. It may not happen. We'll see. There are some changes I want to make. Looking at it now, I need more short rows because the back, this is the back hem is sitting higher than the front, and obviously you want that opposite. So, I mean, that would help. I don't know. I need more short rows. And I don't really want to do short rows in the body. I'm not a fan of that. The neckline needs to come in because when I wear it, it looks stretched out. So I want to cast on, there's changes I'm going to make. But I want to grade it, like make the changes in the pattern and then grade it and see maybe if I can get testers eventually. I've kind of created a Google form and I will get that done. I kind of want to finish some hand spun, and I'm going to do a hand spun version where this is the front, or in the brioche. So you've got the main color, which is the body color, and then you've got the front brioche and the back brioche is what I'm calling it, because it's not really a contrast color. I did use it here. Don't plan on that for other things. I just ran out of yarn. You can if you want to, if you knit this. But I want the front color, the front brioche, to be hand spun, the background color to be the body color. So it'll be a little different to kind of highlight the hand spun. So I need to spin that up, and that will be my second sample to show off the different ways you can do it. There's so many ways you can play with this kind of stuff. So it is fingering weight. It is a smaller gauge. I think I used 3.75 and 3.5 or 3.25 on the ribbing, and then 3.75 on the body and brioche. That's my preference. I love the fingering weight, so that's just the way it goes. But if you have interest in this, just hold on. I'll get there. I gotta grade it. Yeah, I think it's got 2 to 4 inches of positive ease. So I think I'm gonna grade it for 10 sizes, from 10 or 12, we'll see, going from a 26 bust size to 64, somewhere in there, in 4-inch increments, I think is what I'm gonna do. 64, 66, maybe even 70, we'll see. I gotta do all the math now that I have the measurements of my actual one in the gauge, and plus the changes that I want to make, because like my sleeves aren't long enough on this, the body's not long enough, I want to add short rows, this and that, and yada yada yada. And one thing you have to think about is with this kind of a thing is the brioche stretches. So while it doesn't look like it's a very, and that may be why it's pulling so much. Yeah, let's just put it on over this one. That may be why it's pulling so much, because see how it's like pulling over to the shoulder? I don't want that as much. So I might need to rethink that. We'll see. I gotta think about it. But the brioche, so you can see my sweater underneath, obviously. The brioche stretches big time. It opens up, it does not keep its shape as much as something else. So like you can see here, it opens up more on the shoulder, and then it kind of closes in because of that there, which is fine. That's the design feature. That's what I wanted. I wanted it to be a continuous square, and then it kind of looks, you've got the points everywhere. But it's up here that I'm wanting to change. I like the closer fitting neck, kind of like this one underneath me. This is probably my favorite fitting neck. I may steal it, not steal it, but do something similar where you just cast on with the brioche and then you come back and pick it up. But I know a lot of people don't like picking it up, so I would do that as like you can do this or this type of a thing. But something needs to happen with that neckline. I don't know if it's just because it's in this colorway that it looks like that 1x1 ribbing's so stretched out compared to this 1x1 ribbing. Same ribbing and probably even on the same needle size. So I definitely need to change that because it looks messy. I don't like it. It needs more. It needs to be changed. I gotta play with it before I send it out to testers. So it might be a bit, maybe after tax season. So you may have to wait a whole, what is it, September, October, November, December, 7 months. No, it'll be before then. We'll get it before then. So yeah, this is just, I throw this on, that's why it's right here. I throw it on often. But it's been too long. I have a baby shower to get to here shortly. I hope everybody has had a great couple of weeks, well, however long it's been. It may be a bit again before you see me, so, but I'm sure I'll have plenty to show you. So yeah, have a great, however long it'll be until I see you next time. Bye.